Okay, this is part 2 of my Blade Runner study. So, yeah, we've got our rough block in. There's our reference there. So now I'm going to move on to detail. So we're going to zoom in on the reference, zoom in on my painting, and then we're going to start to block out these shapes a little bit better. So that's actually a little bit more bluer and lighter in value. That's better. Or is it darker? Yeah, that'll do. Right, so there's the collar of his trench coat there. You want to get that in. And I want to start making the silhouette a little bit more contrasty. So I don't want all this messiness around the side. I want it to pop. That's just left over from the paint sketch, which also just adds to the painting when you get all this kind of roughness to it. So we can start to work in opposites. So instead of actually painting him in, you can paint the background instead. If you can, I can't really explain it, but you can kind of see what I'm doing there. It reminds me, there was like a tutorial in a book that I read where it's like there's two vases and they're next to each other, and the inside of the shape looks like a human face. And apparently that helps people learn how to draw, because they're separating from the actual object that they're drawing. They're just learning how to see just in shapes. So you're not putting a name in your head to the thing that you're drawing, because then your brain starts to take over and you start to just draw what you think you're seeing. If that makes any sense. Probably not. Get that gap in the middle there. Silhouette's coming together nicely now. Tiny little gap indicating where his arm is just sticking out there. There's our Ryan Gosling. I mean, he's probably a little bit out of proportion. He's looking a little bit tall. So let's sort that out using some digital trickery. Select him. Transform. Pop. Better. Deselect. Oh. And then I'll smudge out. Let's merge that first. I'll smudge that out. And you never would have known. I mean, he's still a little bit looking a little bit out of proportion, but proportion's never been my strong point. Right, they're just like people on bicycles, aren't they? Don't remember that from Blade Runner. People will probably be shouting at me for that. It's probably painfully obvious. I'm starting to think this is a screen cap from the original Blade Runner and not 2049, but that silhouette definitely reminds me of Ryan Gosling from 2049. Just put in the shapes, and then your mind will make up the rest. Because they're so far away back into the composition, they don't have to be detailed at all. Let's put in those little sources of light though. Again, it's like a greeny light. They must be on bicycles. That's like, you can see they're riding on bicycles, and that's the light from the bicycles. Bicycles, bicycles, bicycles. How many times can you say bicycles? Cool. So it's looking all right now. It's only been like half an hour. Good fun, guys. Good fun. Right. This is a little bit more blue. So we're going to bring in some more blue tones. Blue tones, that's a band. I'm going to start using some smudging now, just to get those soft edges. Nice. Nice. You get a nice painterly look using the old smudge tool as well. Just obviously simulates smudging across wet paint. Sounds obvious, but not many people use it. And you can make soft edges so that we're softening up where his feet are. Same with these guys. Back here. Cool. Right, back to details. Bring in our reference. This bit coming down here. I mean, I'd say I'm almost done with this. It's just a study after all. I want to make this pop a little bit more. So by contrast, I'll just put some darker tones and make it a little bit thinner. So you notice as I go on, the brush is getting smaller and smaller. Started off with a big brush. Now, not so big. That is one of the things to remember when painting. You have to start off big and loose and gestural, and then work down to the details. Details are always last. But details are important, that's how you get realism. Sometimes I don't do my stuff detailed enough, mainly because I get bored. I get to a certain point of a painting, I'm just like, that's done, screw it. I need to just get out of that habit. Because detail, as long as you've got the fundamentals there first, you know, values, perspective, composition, anatomy, etc., then if you've got all that in and then you detail it, an image that can make an image from just an average image to, you know, a fantastic image. But if you've got detail, but with none of the fundamentals, then it's just a mess. That's basically what the AI generated images look like. It's just detail, but no real fundamentals. That's why they catch your eye, because you look at the detail and you're like, oh wow, that looks cool. But then when you zoom in and really pick the image apart, it's like, oh my god, everything's off about it. Start to indicate some. I never go a video without a chance to slag off AI. Ugh. Get over it. It's here to stay. Never. I just think it's a shame. Like, why would you not want to take your time and learn a skill? That's what being human's all about, isn't it? Overcoming challenges. When are we going to learn that instant gratification? You know, you've got all these streaming services now, but you tend to just not watch anything because you've got too much choice. Remember how special it was just going down to a Blockbuster or a rental store and, you know, renting out a new film. It was just special, like, because it was hard to get. When you have everything at your fingertips, nothing's special anymore. There's no effort. There needs to be effort involved. That's where life happens. But luckily I know this. It's just a shame people have to learn the hard way. Oh, I have no meaning in my life. Yes, because you don't suffer in your life. Right, I need to stop ranting and raving. Be quiet. Okay, back to the painting. There's not much to say really, I'm just detailing. Just bringing out the shapes. Upping the contrast, making things pop. When I say up in the contrast, I just mean I'm making the darks darker and the lights lighter. Up in the contrast, baby. I'd say it's almost done. I like that. I know what's missing. We need some cinematic black film strip lines. How do I select it? Burp, burp. What am I doing? Hard round. Black. There you go. Instant film look. Boom. Bit more. All right. I'm going to share a little trick. What is this? All right, so I'm going to find some photo texture. Japan at night. Perfect. How do I'm still not used to this Mac. I don't know how to view these bigger. It's probably painfully obvious, isn't it? Right, drop this in. Boom. Set it to color dodge. Lower the opacity. Boom. Instant. City lights, baby. Let's turn that upside down. Don't know if this is actually going to look any good. They're not in the right perspective, that's why. I'll use another one. It's alright. Merge it down. It would help if I could see. No. We could just to find an image that's at the same perspective. Maybe like this one. I don't want the whole video just of me looking through reference material. This one. Let's put it in and find out. Same thing again, set it to colour dodge, turn the opacity down. I mean, look at that. That's cool. It's cool, right? Boom. You could change the entire image right now if you wanted to. Oops, bollocks. It's just, all these image textures is just subtle. You don't want it too bloody crazy. Otherwise you'll just overcomplicate the composition. Tell you what I am going to do. Let's put in some texture. Overlay, turn it right down. There you go, adds instant grittiness. Turn it right down. Right down. And then rub some bits out where it looks rubbish. Down even more. It's better. Let's bring that reference back. Arrange. Oh, we're the wrong way around now. Oh well. Yeah, I'd say it's a decent study. I'll call that tutorial there. So I know it was a little bit slapdash, not very professional, but still we did some real-time movie stills study practice. So I hope you learnt a few things from this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.